Hey guys, I just picked up this car. This is a 1999 Honda Civic. And you probably already know these make really great commuters. They are extremely reliable. And I think it's a good looking one. This one's got some issues. It's a little bit worn. You can see, look at that rust. It's actually not bad considering the usual rust that you find on 90s cars in this area, but the major issue is that it had a fender bender on the front, and the front is pretty beat. The hood is a different color. So this is a one owner vehicle too, so it's kind of a fascinating little vehicle. I'm going to be fixing it up, and Bobby owned this its entire life. And it doesn't have a lot of miles. It only has 140,000 miles. So kind of cool. And you know, oftentimes, like, I wonder, should you get a Civic or should you get a Toyota Echo like this? And they're very reasonably priced, especially in the used market. This one, of course, has got much more damage than the Toyota Echo. This one, the front is pretty beat up. You see that? It's pretty bad. So I think this is like this has been put in here, so this is in really bad shape, but we're gonna see if we're gonna fix it. So let's just walk around and look at this car. It's a 4-door, so that's always a good thing. 4 doors are, at least for me, they're desirable because they're much more usable for a commuter, and I really like the commuting aspect of cars. That's why I like the Prius, that's why I like the Echo. You're essentially getting 40 miles to the gallon. When you compare it to that Honda Accord, I mean, that's a 20 something miles per gallon car. Of course, it's a V6, much more modern. 1999. The tires on this are very good. That's a big benefit. Let's look around. So it definitely needs some cleaning. Let's look and open up the trunk here. The key doesn't really want to go in, but whoa, yep, lots of cement, so not a good idea to leave this open. So very small trunk compared to a lot of hatchbacks. You know, the Honda Civic hatchbacks that I've had in the past are much handier, I think, than the sedans, but the sedan style has kind of died off a little bit. A lot of people go after the hatchback or SUVs. So for example, that Honda Accord, I think you don't see a lot of sedans being desired anymore. But one thing, this is a 99, but it is in very good shape inside. Look at the seats. No damage to the seats. And this car probably wasn't, this is a second vehicle for Bobby, the previous owner. And so a lot of it just doesn't get a lot of wear. You can see the seats full down. But I really like Toyota and Honda interiors because they do not seem to wear out. I mean, look at the cloth. It is just so nice. It's incredible. It's really incredible that they hold up. You know, this one is a little bit beat up, but you know, that's normal for a Honda Civic. You know, people just, they get it as a first car or whatever. It's an economy car, and people do just use them for commuting. They get dirty, but that's normal. So on the steering wheel, one of the big issues that we do have is that when you had the accident in the front, the steering wheel, the airbags deployed, so the airbags do not work anymore. So I need to figure out how to fix that. So both of the airbags went off, but the car is in good shape. The good thing about this year car is that you can tag it as historic. You know, remember, cars from the 90s didn't even have airbags. I mean, my 93 Honda Accord did not have airbags, so it's not an issue. The radio uses a code, and I seem to have forgotten the code. It's in the manual and everything, but very simple. Look how simple this manual or this stereo is. Very simple. I love the knobs. The knobs make it so much easier to adjust things, and these do not break. In my 93 Honda Accord, they do break, but these are very robust buttons, and I really kind of like that a lot. About it's not the desired 5-speed. If it was a 5-speed, the price of this would be much higher. Look at this. It's a huge pocket here, and at the time of making this car there was no phones, but this doubles as a phone holder. And you do have 2 cup holders here, a small one and a big one. And then here he added like this extra cup holder thing that I'll probably remove. The handrest, very small. It's actually a very tiny one, but look at that. The wear on this is relatively good. That's the thing about these Honda interiors. Just climbing in and out of these cars, these older 90 Civics, Accords, it's a little bit of a more of a struggle because they're much lower to the ground. Very typical of the 90s. They have like this kind of chromy button for locking and unlocking, power windows, power locks. You do have a pocket here. The interesting thing is that you do have a lot of adjustment for the seat. Look at that. It moves up, and then you have this that tilts. That's really quite nice. There's no lumbar support, but I guess you don't need it. You know, I think I got an allergy with this because it's been sitting so long. You have power mirrors here, and you do have a power sunroof and an extra button that it was probably an accessory. You have cruise control. You have the dimmer. It starts right up. You know, this car is very quiet for a car that's this old and a little bit on the beat up side. It does start up really well. I mean, in the transmission and engine on this, what I like is that it is really good. So you have working horns. There we go. But this does not work because it's the airbag. One thing I noticed is that I really love the buttons that Honda puts in their budget stuff. This is the same knob that actually the Honda Accord back there has, and it's the same knob that my 91 Honda Accord has. Very similar style. You do have working headlights and everything. The AC works, so kind of fascinating. I was not expecting the AC to work on these. So here we go. We have this has definitely not been used. We have another little mirror here. So we have visor. So this is, I usually like to turn this off. We have the sunroof, and it should open. So a lot of times I worry about these opening, but there we go. That's kind of a nice feature. Made them so much lower than the newer one. So when you compare it to the Echo, for example, the Echo, I prefer the Echo as a commuter car. I think this is a much better build quality than the Civic, even though this is probably cheaper than the Civic. And I think a lot of it has to do with the brand name, you know, Echo. No one has ever heard of a Toyota Echo. So that's one of the downsides, but it's a much better car in my opinion, and it's so much easier to kind of get in and out. The quality of the Echo is also much more Spartan, so very little in here, but I do like the Echo a little bit more as an economy car because it is a lighter car. It is a car that gets over 40 miles to the gallon. The Civic, I think it's like a 35-40 miles to the gallon one, but parts for this are very easy to find. On this one they didn't make as many, so very hard. This one is also much easier to get in and out because the seats are higher. This is a much sportier ride. So I am selling both of these cars, so if you're interested, just post in the comments below. This one, of course, I just got it in, so I will be fixing it up. The Echo is pretty much ready. You know, the Echo is ready for prime time. But yeah, that's the Honda Civic from 1999. This is something I really like seeing. So when I buy vehicles, I love seeing this. So title, and then I have this amount of paperwork. Since this car was bought brand new from the previous owner, there's so much to kind of go through, but I love the records. I love when people just hold on to records and they take it to garages to maintain. So that usually is kind of like when you buy a piece of artwork. You want to see where it's been. You want to see what's the wording. It's like there's a certain record that a painting has from everybody that bought it, wherever it's been exhibited. That's kind of like what a car is. What this folder represents the exhibit record of the car. And look at this. Look at all the keys. I mean, this is actually the most amount of keys I've ever had in a car. Stay tuned to the channel. I will be fixing it up and hopefully rehoming it soon. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next video.